second while oh, great, it's recording. So yep, again, we're so excited to have you here to share your story. We're going to focus a lot about events, specifically school events, and then we'll just kind of share some other places that you can talk about that. Great. So let's start off first by talking about one of our current members named Dan. Dan is really special to us because he is willing to share his story very often. And I'm going to read directly from what Dan has shared with us. So, for retired police officer Dan Carlson, giving back to the community is more than just a weekend hobby. With 30 years of experience in law enforcement, Dan devoted his career to service. Now as a math corps tutor at Staples Motley Middle School, he found a whole new way to give back. And so this is directly from Dan. So after my retirement from public safety, I found I had a great amount of time to fill. You can only do so much fishing, golfing, and relaxing. I felt the need to continue serving my community, but in a different way. When asked about his favorite memory, he couldn't give just one. From being told by a student, "Thank you, I learned something new today," to the hugs, the smiles, and the stories they tell. And so today we're really focusing on the stories that you can tell and how can you share more about your specific story. So we have two asks of you today. The first one is to stay engaged. I think that we're both really funny and fun, and so hopefully you can enjoy lots of our jokes, and we're just cute as a button, so you want to keep watching us for sure. And the other thing is that you want to participate. So we'll have lots of times where we will be asking questions of you and having you type in some of your answers. And so I'm going to read something specifically, but when we ask of that, and we'll go over this again, but you want to ask in the drop-down. You want to change the ask in the drop-down menu for the Q&A to all panelists, so that way everyone can see your answer. That makes it much more engaging for folks to be able to chat with one another, because obviously sharing your story requires you to talk and to share it, and if you can do that with everyone, that's great. Also, for those that participate with us, you will, we have a raffle, so everyone that's here today will be entered into the drawing, as well as those that put anything into the chat. You will be entered into two $20 gift cards to Target, which is really exciting. Woo woo, $20 gift cards. Who doesn't want more money for Target? Love it. So please be sure to chat in your thoughts and anything like that. The last thing that we didn't put on the slide is that we will be asking you to write things down. So either have a pen and paper in front of you, or be sure to pull up like a Word doc, because we'll be having you write down some things as we get going. Great. So this is your first opportunity to get some of your name points in for that raffle. So what are your hopes for today? So why don't we take about 2 minutes to just type in some of your hopes. Again, make sure that you, when you change the ask to the drop-down in the Q&A to all participants so that we can see it. But I'd love to hear, what are your hopes for today with this webinar? Learn something new, Janet, I love it. Great ideas for things to say, learn about the hours commitment, get fresh ideas, gain some tips on how to be a better tutor, I love it. Without fumbling over my words, got it. Awesome and cool ideas how to share stories. These are all so great, thank you so much. So continue to type in your things. Again, it's really great when you're interactive, and we'll keep having all of these going on, and both Beck and I will try and share a little bit of some highlights along the way. If we don't cover everything today, don't worry, we're going to be sending out lots of resources, and we'll connect you with the appropriate people to go over exactly what to, how we can get the answer for you. So, why exactly should you share your story? So the first piece is that everyone's story is really unique. I think one of the best parts about being in my position is that I get to talk to lots of different people about why they're interested in serving in AmeriCorps and with reading and math corps. And that's really huge, and it's so great to hear all of the different reasons why they've come to join our program. The other piece is that people remember stories more than statistics. So when you are telling your story to folks, we can often give them lots of statistics, and that's great. But as soon as they really leave, they kind of forget about it. I always remember stories that members share more than statistics about, you know, this many students, all really great things, but we really care about the story that you're sharing. The huge piece for us is that we're always looking for more tutors, because the more tutors that we have equals the more students that are succeeding in math and reading. So when you share your stories and get people excited about reading the Math Corps and joining our program, it means more students that you're ultimately ending up serving. And then really for you, it's about personal growth. Sharing your story can be always kind of hard, especially in lots of different settings, and we're here to kind of go over tips and tricks so that it's not as scary and ways that you can use this not only through your time with reading the Math Corps, but beyond. Okay, so we're going to go over the elevator pitch. So a lot of you did this during your service kickoff where you were with program managers and they had you write down basic parts about your elevator pitch. And if you are like a lot of folks, you probably did not look at it after that time, after that service kickoff. So we're going to go over it a little bit today and how we can help modify it and make it work for you. So the big piece about an elevator pitch is that it should only be about 30 to 60 seconds. You don't want to take your whole time explaining everything. You really just want to be a quick snapshot of what our program is. So here's the elevator speech framework. Again, it's exactly what you guys have done before on your service kickoff. And you always start off with about you. Really quick, easy introduction just about who you are and what you do, and specifically what do you offer. So what are you doing at your school with Reading and Math Corps? The big piece that we're going to have is how do you do it? That's our main focus today because it's how do you do what you do every day? Why do you serve? How do you have your specific story? What are the benefits? So we'll be having a question and answer session later on about what are the specific benefits that we offer, and so that way you can know more about how to share that information with folks. And then include a specific call to action. So for us here at Reading and Math Corps, our specific call to action when we talk to folks is come join our programs. And so hopefully that'll be for you, but you might find other ways to use that to your advantage. So we're focusing again, like I mentioned, on how do you do it or your specific great story. So we have provided a lot of different great story starters. So if any of you have ever written like a blog post or shared something on Facebook, you may have used these as kind of a template to share a little out about kind of reasons why you've chosen to serve in really good feel-good moments. So here is a list of a lot of different ones. Becca and I have highlighted some of our favorites. And so what we would like you to do at this time is we would love for you to write your great story. And so what this will look like is that you've pulled up your doc, or you have a pen and paper in front of you, and we are going to go back to that slide that has some of those great story starters, and we want you to just write down everything that comes to your mind to these prompts. So really kind of just think of what are some great experiences, some great stories that you have for the next 5 minutes or so. And to make it fun, I have a fun little video about Happy from Pharrell Williams, so you can listen to this, and that will be our timer for your great story starter. So again, take this time now to write everything that comes to mind when you're looking at these prompts.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here comes bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got, don't hold it back. California, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, bring me down, ain't nothing. Bring me down, and love it too. Bring me down, me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, hey, hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Come on.
Okay, great. So hopefully you got an opportunity to share or to write down some of your ideas about this. Again, we're just getting some ideas out there. We just kind of want to get your brain juices going as you kind of figure out how best to describe your story. So now is the time that we would love to have folks share. So this can happen a couple of different ways. We would love to have folks that are feeling particularly brave and just kind of want to share out about specific stories. If you could write in the question and answer box and say you'd love to share, we can put you off mute and we'll have you just share a little bit about your story. So anyone feeling particularly brave and wanting to share their story? And don't forget, remember that there is a $20 Target gift card with your name on it. Ooh, yes, Diana, thank you. Diana Pruko, we're going to get you offline. Let's see here. Let's see if I can figure this out. All right, Diana, I think you're off mute.
Hi.
Hi. All right, we'd love to hear your story.
Well, I had a particular student who I worked with her every single day, and she would come in just excited every single day. And she always had a smile on her face, always excited to see me, always excited to work. And she would, I just always look forward to seeing her every day. She would come in and always ready, always excited, always asking me, do you have any homework for me to take home? She loved taking her raw folder home. And she just inspired me just with her excitement and her willingness to learn and her excitement to learn. That's what I love about being a literacy tutor with AmeriCorps. Just seeing some of these kids who were struggling when they first started, and now just seeing them succeed and exiting the program. I want to say at this point in time, I have exited, let's see here, just about 10 kiddos this school year, where I'm at, and it makes me happy just to see these kids grow and just blossom. One of my new kiddos brought me in a sign that she made me on her way to school today, and she goes, Miss Diana, I have something for you. And I said, oh, did you bring me back your raw folder? And she goes, no. And she runs to her locker and she brings me out a sheet, and it says, you are amazing. And that it made my day. So that is my story.
I love it. That is so great. Thank you, Diana, for sharing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put you back on mute, but thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thanks.
Let's see. Anyone else that's willing to share their story. Ooh, Melissa has one. All right, Diane, I'm trying to see if I can put you back on mute. Let's see here. Sorry, while I try to figure this out. Clearly, you can tell we've done this a lot.
If I press on my microphone, I can mute you. I can mute my own.
That would be great, Diana. Why don't you do that? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Melissa, you're up next. Let's see if I can find you. I'm going to stop sharing it really quick, and then we'll see if we can figure it out on this end. I don't know how I was able to do it last time. Okay, well, we may come back to that. Melissa, I want to hear your story, but I want to make sure that we're honoring people's time, so we may come back to that. If you have stories and you want to type them in, and if you don't feel comfortable sharing it out loud, I would love to have you type it in. It would be great if you could do it in the chat. That way we can have other people see it, and if it goes to all participants. All right. Great, okay. I'm going to read Janet's really quick because she, just because I think it's great, because she felt like she needed more purpose in her life. I think that's really great. I think that a lot of folks are there. But serving does make me feel like I'm making a positive impact on their future learning. I love it. So again, they have a character limit, so you may need to, if you want to type it in, you just have to chat it a couple of times and kind of break it up a little bit. But we would love to, we really appreciate those that are willing to share. That's great. So if you want to, again, you want to type in some of your answers, and we'll be happy to share some of those out loud, and hopefully we can maybe figure out how to unmute some of you for later on. Great. So you guys had so many. I know that you have a lot of great stories, and I so appreciate, again, the ones that were willing to share. Now that you have all of these ideas out, we want to take some time to clean it up. So the big pieces, again, with an elevator pitch is that you want to really only 30 to 60 seconds and make it real quick. So that oftentimes means cutting a lot of the jargon and details. And we're going to go over some very specific jargon and details that we hear a lot and that we, use a lot. And so we want to try and clean that up. Connect phrases to each other. So we're going to go over again the whole elevator pitch and how to include your unique story in there. But the important piece is that you get all of those different part so that it doesn't seem like it's really rehearsed, that you've only focused on each individual piece, but that you have have worked on the whole elevator pitch, connecting them and saying, this is who I am, this is why I serve, here's why you should serve too. And the last piece is that when you are working with, when you're out there sharing your story with different people, the big piece is that oftentimes your listener is there because they have a specific question or they have a specific ask of you. And oftentimes that is, what's in it for me? Why am I here? And a lot of that comes from you sharing your story. Like, why did you join? Why are you here? And you want to make sure that you are focusing on, am I answering the question? Why is this person here? What are they able to get out of this? Oh, look there's lots of great things that are happening. I'm going to go back over this and share some of these. Who doesn't like to be, this is from Linda, who doesn't like to be valued and appreciated? Parents, teachers, and students let me know that they appreciate Reading Corps. Reading Corps has the interventions that work. That's a great, great story. Nice, quick, clean. I love it. The most rewarding, this is from, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Share McCabe. The most rewarding part of my service so far is when the students get excited about math and are eager to learn with me. I enjoy the laughter and smiles when they get the answer. I'm also so lucky to be at a site with such welcoming staff. This is from David. I taught college in Indianapolis. Never wanted to teach anything but college. Tried Math Corps while waiting on a college position to open up. Now I love teaching younger kids. I can change their future. I can be why they get into college. That's a great story. Wonderful. All right, I'm going to pick one more here. This is from Melissa, who was so nice and tried to share. One of my teachers told me her student about, one of my teachers told me her student told her mom, lots of people there, she had to get to school to work with Miss LaBelle. Her older sister was sick, mom going to church, but she decided to bring her to see Miss LaBelle. So wanted to see you. So many great stories. Thank you. So here's some jargon that we have that we see a lot that we want to make sure that we try and avoid it. So the big piece, the word that you hear a lot is intervention, which is a term that we use a lot in Reading Corps and Math Corps. When you're talking to folks, really make it less specific than that. You can just say, we do activities, or we work on math strategies and reading strategies. Those are really simple, and that way it's really easy for everyone to know that. The next one is like certain and very specific progress monitoring assessments that you use, like PELI, that sort of thing. Most folks don't know that, and really you can just say, we just track their growth. We make sure that they're succeeding in the ways that they're supposed to. You don't need to get into the specifics with the types of interventions. That's what the recruiters are there for, and program managers and master coaches can go over all of that once they're in our program. The big pieces, you can say, we focus on reading and math skills. I love the story that was just shared about exiting, and I think that's so great. What I would say is that we have lots of students who are able to finish our program because they're at grade level, right? Exiting is a big term that we use internally, and you can just say, we have lots of students who are able to finish up our program because they reached grade level. That's a great way to change that a little bit so that it's a little bit more user-friendly. So we recruiters here just had a really great training, and we'd love to share part of it with you. When we're telling stories, we like to think of front of the box versus back of the box. And this was a great training through Mary Milla, so just a quick shout out to her, always important. But when we think of the front of the box, right, when you're grocery shopping, you are looking just at the front of the box when you're going through. You're not looking at all the ingredients, all that stuff. The first thing that catches your eye is front of the box. So if we look at this very tasty DiGiorno's pizza, rising crust, I recommend it, personal buy of mine. But three things that they say right on the front are 100% real cheese, no artificial flavors, and preservative-free crust. Who doesn't love that? I'm gonna bring it right home, chew it right up, right? Three big things right in the box, easy, quick parts of your story. That's what you want to do when you're reaching out to folks at career, like at events, your parents, all those different things. Just focus on those really specific things, and then kind of just to draw them in, right? You're there, you're just drawing them in, and then when they get to you, then they ask more specific questions, that's when you can focus on the back of the box. So if you've ever taken time to read all of the different back of the boxes. It's really funny because they often have lots of slightly ridiculous stories, and it shares like, this is the family, this is the DiGiorno family, it's where we came from, it's all of these things that, while still really great, most folks don't take the time to read, and the instructions and the ingredients are there only after most of the time they've picked up the box and taken the time to read it. So our focus is, when you're out with communities, focus on the big picture, right? Only when they start asking questions and they've essentially are excited and want to hear more, that's when you can focus on those minor details. So like these interventions, assessments, all those sort of things, that's where when they start asking questions, you don't want to share that when you're out in the community and at events. You want to focus just on the front. So now that you've had a chance to kind of hear some hot tips and tricks about really focusing on big picture, not focusing on the specific details, and really the front of the box, I'd love for you, if you took time to write down your story, to take time to edit it. So we're going to take a little bit less time. I'm going to play another fun song for you. So take time to, again, think, what am I saying that's really just the big picture? All right, so here is 3 minutes for you to edit that.
Whoops. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time to edit your story. Would anyone like to share their cleaned up story here? And again, we'll just have you comment in the box. We can't quite figure out the unmute situation, so we'll just have you guys comment your stories. I'll read a couple, and then at the end of the webinar, we'll actually take some time and email you guys the stories that were shared, so you can look and get some ideas from other members who are on this webinar today. Remember, for those brave souls, you are entered in that Target gift card, $20. So if you just took your story and took out a jargon word or shortened it in any sort of way, now is the time to share what you have. All right, well, it looks like we have a story from Linda here. So Linda says, teachers are so dedicated and it is a joy to work with them. Getting to know students on a one-to-one basis is very fulfilling. Seeing the joy that they have when they become better readers makes it all worthwhile. That's awesome, short and sweet, right to the point, but still demonstrates the wonderful work that you do every single day. So I think that's great, Linda. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? All right. Well, now that you guys are the experts on the how do you do it, you have your stories, your unique stories written down. Now we can take some time to put it all together. So this is when you want to take the time to put together your entire elevator speech. So the first part is the about you. So talk a little bit about yourself, where you serve, what program you're in. Maybe you want to mention the location or the school that you serve at. What do you offer? So, you know, you could say you're a Minnesota Reading Corps tutor, Minnesota Math Corps tutor. What are the benefits of working in our program? So you better the lives of children every single day. Or there's an Awesome Education Award that you receive at the end of the term of service. And then number 5 is include a specific call to action. So what is the point of your elevator pitch? Do you want you know, someone at your tabling event to come sign up online? Do you want them to join you at your school? What is your call to action? So now is the time. Take everything. Take your how do you do it, and put it all together for your entire elevator speech. So another awesome song that we're going to play here just for a couple of minutes, so that you guys can write down and complete your elevator speech. Great. Hopefully that was enough time to plug in those extra pieces to complete your elevator speech. I do want to go back and read one other story that did come in over chat, and it was from Elena Wald, and her story says that she is an education student who was interested in literacy, and there was a need in her area. She's learned so much about MRC's presence in her district and the excitement surrounding reading. I've been inspired especially by my kindergarten students. So I just thought that was an awesome story, and I wanted to go back and share it with all of you. All right, so you guys are experts. You have your elevator speech completed. So where do you take it from here? What's next? So I think the main key here is to memorize. Memorize your key points and practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Find someone that you know that you can practice with. If you don't have anyone, practice in front of the mirror. I know it sounds silly, but it really does work. And then if you wish, you can certainly create different versions for different audiences. So think about like when you're talking with your friends versus your kids or your parents and how you would highlight different benefits. So maybe if you're talking with your kids, you would highlight the education award, or maybe how it would help them further their career. Maybe if you're talking to a retiree, you would talk about how amazing it is to make a difference in the community and add more structure into their day. So these are just some ideas for you. And I want to do a fun little quiz here and see if anyone knows the answer. So what percentage do you think of tutors were referred to one of our programs by someone else? Go ahead and type in your answer, and then we will share with you in a minute. All right, 45%, 75, 80, 88, 35. So the answer is actually 40%, which is, when you think about it, a huge number. That's almost half of our tutors have heard about our program or one of our programs through you guys or someone else in the community, at schools, wherever you guys are sharing your stories. So awesome job already. We just need to keep it up. So this is a slide of some different areas or different places that our tutors have heard about our programs. So you never know when you're gonna have to share your unique story with others or have your elevator speech or pitch ready to go. So actually some of our tutors have heard about it at a farmer's market, so a community event, the gas station. One of our tutors was wearing their reading corps shirt while they're working out, and someone came up and approached them, the community pool of all places, or the dog park. So just always be prepared. It doesn't always have to be at a formal event. Someone may come and ask you about your story. So it's always best to be prepared. But today, since we're trying to appeal to you and what makes the most sense to talk about, we're going to talk about school events. So the first things first is you should check the calendar at your school and see what events are coming up at the end of the school year. So is there a field day, end of the year celebrations, PTO, PTA meeting, maybe there's a band concert you can give a short little spiel at if you're comfortable doing something like that, conferences, kindergarten roundup. So first check the calendar and then think about how you can get involved. So if you're not sure, ask your internal coach, ask your principal, can you have a table at the event? Can you give a short presentation? And then last but not least, have fun with it. It doesn't have to be so straightforward. Get creative. If you want to have a fun craft to draw the students in, you can do that. Or if you want to have a fun math game to make it more interactive, absolutely, make it your own and have fun with it. So here are two examples that two of our tutors have done in the past. So both of these are tables that they had put together. So the picture on the left is one of our tutors just found some poster board at the school and then decided to highlight a few different benefits of our program. So For instance, one of the things that she highlighted was, are you retired but not tired? Yeah, that's a great slogan. Hello. And then the other one was, did you know that 1 in 3 third graders are not reading at grade level? So just a really easy way to make the table more intriguing, more inviting. And then, of course, the table on the right, superheroes in training. How cute is that? Super creative. But really, you can use any makeshift tablecloth that the school may have. You can buy one at the dollar store. Make sure you have flyers, pens, stickers, bookmarks. If you need materials, we will certainly send those to you. And then, of course, you want referral cards, because if you refer anyone, remember, you do win that awesome black jacket that we're always trying to promote. So, and then, like I said earlier, make it inviting, make it fun, make a game out of it. So the picture in the left, one of our tutors in the Elk River School District, she put together a guess what book is in the jar game. And so what she did is she actually just typed up some key characters from the book, some key phrases or lines, shredded it and put it in a jar, which I thought was pretty unique. And then she found some prizes around the school. So bookmarks, candy, whatever you can find. And then the picture on the right was actually at a family engagement night in St. Cloud. And what they did is they bought a couple pairs of dice from the dollar store. And then they had 2 people roll the dice at the same time and then write down their number, and then the first person to get to 51. So it was super awesome. It was super fun for everyone of all ages. And yeah, so those are just a couple ideas that I thought were great, and I'm sure you guys have tons of other ideas. And so I think we should try and share some of the knowledge. If you guys have any tips or tricks that have worked for you in the past, feel free to comment in now, and I will read some of those tips or tricks. Otherwise, I will make sure to share those tips and tricks with you guys after the webinar as well, so you have those. All right, looks like we have a comment here. Thanks, Elena. I put out well-known books at a kindergarten roundup. Yeah, that's awesome. The student walks by, sees their favorite book, they're bound to stop and take a look. That's for sure. That's great. So we have another comment. It says, at conferences, I had a table where kids could come play with math bingo and win candy for prizes. How fun. That's awesome. Ooh, I guess how much candy is in the jar has brought us the most traffic. Heck yeah, everyone wants to win candy, especially students. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, you guys. I really appreciate it. And again, I will share more of those tips and tricks with you guys after the webinar. So I just want to take a quick minute here and talk about some of the resources that we have put together. We have recently revamped our resource hub and our outreach resource page. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. So this is our outreach resources page, and I will send you the direct link after the webinar if you do not know what I'm talking about or if you've never seen it before. But if you click on school event resources, and you scroll down, you can see all the different ideas that tutors have put together for tables. So certainly you can steal these ideas, or maybe this will spark a new idea for you, but definitely take some time, see what we have on there. Another area is the reading quarter, so it's a great way to engage students to look at books during an event. And then here's a bunch of different activities or games that you can do as well. So if you click on these images, it will play a video and show you how to complete the craft or complete the game. It has our recruitment toolkit. So if you need any templates for like social media, or if you want to do a newsletter post, we have resources for you on there. And then the last thing I want to show you is, well, the last two things. So then there's the talking points. So feel free to print this out if you don't feel comfortable or if you just want some extra talking points at any event. If you're going to give a presentation or a short talk, that's a great resource. And then also we do have some of these printable bookmarks. So those are kind of fun if you can print them at your school, and then the students can stop by your table and color them and then use them when they read. So definitely spend some more time when you get a chance looking at that. And then if you guys need any other materials, like I mentioned, we have a ton of stickers, bookmarks, flyers. Definitely reach out, ask your recruiter or your program manager, and we'll certainly get those to you. All of your schools did just receive their launch boxes, so they should have plenty of flyers, but we can certainly still send you some if needed. All right, so with these fun events, of course, there's a ton of common questions that you guys will be asked. And so we just kind of want to go through them, see if you guys feel comfortable answering them. If you don't know the answer or you have the wrong answer, that's totally fine. That's why we're doing this activity. So I am going to just read through the questions that we have. And so if you want to take some time and just jot down what you think the answer is, and then we'll come back and answer the question with the correct answer. So the first question is, what is AmeriCorps? So just jot this down, what you think the answer is. The second question is, what skills or experience do you need? When does the program start? How do I find out what is available near me? And then one of the most common questions, where can I get more info? So just jot down what you think the answers are, and then Dylan and I are going to go through the answers with you.
So I'm looking at some of these. I see for when does the program start? August is correct. Another thing we always like to say is we start in August, but we have a rolling application until January. That way if folks can't join us in August, they can still join us at other parts throughout the year. I saw that someone says, where can I get more info? The internet is correct, yes. Does anyone know our website specifically if you want to type that in? Because yes, you can find out lots of things about Reading the Math Corps, and usually just a Google search will find it for us. But there's a specific website that has all the good stuff on it. Let's see. This is the answer to what skills and experience you need. You need to be a high school graduate or equivalent. Yep, so we say high school graduate, GED, or anything equivalent. Great job. That was from Janice. Thank you, Janice. Let's see. Let's see other answers. It's a this is for what is AmeriCorps. It's a National Volunteer Organization Program. Yep, that's a great answer. Another way that we often refer to it is Domestic Peace Corps. Most people have heard of the Peace Corps, and we say that, and once they kind of wrap their head around it that way, they usually give the like, oh yes, that sounds good, and you can go more in depth if they ask questions about it. Yep, I see. This is from Amy. I see other folks asked it. So you can get more info from readingandmath.net. That is our website, and it has all of, it's where you can find about all the different locations that we serve, as well as just more info. The other thing is that if you know your program manager or your recruiter at the time, you can just ask. And you usually what you can do is if you are interested in your tabling, we are happy to send you our card, and they can always give us a direct call or email. That way they can talk directly to us. Great.
Did we miss any, or did we get them all?
I think we got them all. Lots. You guys all really know your stuff. Thanks.
All right. Well, and then of course, we want to talk a little bit about where else you can use these skills. So of course we want you to use them during school events, community events, help spread our programs or spread awareness about our programs. But also, these are really great tools to have in your back pocket. If you're thinking about furthering your career, if you're thinking of changing your job, there may be an interview involved. in that. And Dylan and I just, you know, having interviews every single day with hiring our tutors, we ask, you know, tell us about your experience. And so these are lots of great examples to have in your back pocket ready to go. Of course, making connections in the community, building your networking group. So there are several different ways that you definitely can use these tricks and tools, and it's not just with recruiting for our programs. So. All right, and then we're going to bring it back to our friend Dan. So remember Dan from the beginning of the webinar. So his daughter shared her great story with Dan. So that's how he heard about our programs. And Dan found out about Math Corps through his daughter. Now Dan continues to share his experience and his unique story to show how great Math Corps is and why others should be involved. You never know where someone's going to hear about our programs or want to hear about your unique story, so please continue to share your unique story. You never know the impact that you're going to make, for sure.
Yes, I did see someone out there say they were on here to share more info with their parents. So really, again,
yes.
Continue to share it because you never know, they may end up joining our program. Great.
All right. Well, our time has come to an end, so we just want to say thank you so much for joining us. It's been super fun. Thank you for participating, even though we had a couple technical difficulties. You guys still made the best of it, and were able to chat in all of your wonderful comments. Stay in touch if you need any resources from us. Again, reach out to your program manager, your recruiter. Dylan and I will be emailing you guys a couple of links with the Member Resource Hub. We'll share some of these stories that you guys chatted to us, some tips and tricks that you guys shared with us from school events. And then, of course, drum roll please, we will share the winners of the two $20 Target gift cards. So.
Yep, so we tried to write them down as you were typing them, but you guys were so great about typing in lots of answers. We actually had, let's see, we had almost 100 different comments from lots of different people, and they're in all different areas. So we are going to take some time where we're going to write each person who commented, and we're going to write your name down, and we'll actually send a video of us doing the drawing so you can see it in action. But again, we thank you so much for joining us. Please reach out if you do have questions. You can either, again, chat them in, or we will be sharing our contact info, and if you need anything, we'd be happy to answer those.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.